Hello and welcome to this video. We are going to discuss the Mercenary and how to level him, or at least how I believe you should, or a way you can. Now, this is the character I got. I just finished a level 1 map with this character and level 65. This is our weapon. I've had it since Act 2 normal, not the cruel Act 2 normal. I picked up this, I crafted it myself. We got the physical damage and then we got the adds physical to it, so then I exalted it out and we got a nice little weapon for the time. It is actually quite weak right now. We are missing quite a bit of damage, and if we had the choice we'd have another weapon, but this got us all the way to maps from Act 2. So the one thing I will say, this I have no movement speed on it. This is purely for the resistances. I would drop this and put movement speed on your boots at all priority and go without the defense, because movement is quite important with bossing, and especially if you're armor evasion or armor based, then you'll end up having to do a lot more dodge rolling, more mechanic dodging than if you had movement speed. We actually have, I think, -4, -1.1% with some of the tree benefits. But yeah, since we're armor evasion at the moment, we actually have some slowness. Now, our setup. We will start with just using crossbow shot. You can use a bow and do some ranger skills if you preferred, but crossbow, the normal crossbow, will do enough damage to get you through until you get galvanic shards. Now, because I do have such a bad weapon for where we are at the moment, obviously don't have the damage numbers that I would like. This shouldn't necessarily be our biggest number. I think this should be 9-10k if we had a proper weapon. But yeah, you pick up galvanic shards, and then if we pull out a skill gem, I can actually, nope, that is not skills. Okay, so now we see everything. We have, start off using either some of this. Permafrost with fragmentation rounds is strong, but you can use the normal crossbow shot even on bosses up until level 14, not level 14. When you get this galvanic shards, and then you can also run flash grenades, which I have been doing just to add that extra bit of knock, and it's quite powerful. You can run this pretty much the whole campaign, which I did. I did try the all liked, even before the nerf, the gas grenade stuff, but if you don't have the gear, the grenade style is pretty poor at being able to clear and everything. So we pick up galvanic shards. Next thing we want to pick up is down here at 9, so I think that's Act 3. You start picking up 9s, 10s, 11s. We want to pick up, no we don't. Where is it? Galvanic shards. Towards the end of Act 3, Stormblast rounds, but galvanic shards with the flash grenade, and you can run rapid shot. It's very effective. It does take time to build up, but then it empowers your flash grenade. You can add some gas if you want some extra poison, and then you're pretty much running flash, galvanic, and rapid shot. Then once you get down to your shock burst rounds, you can just wait until you got a bunch of the tree before you get this. I was using rapid shot over this until I got some extra damage on the tree, but this is what we swapped to for once we get shocks, we then use this on a rare, and once we're all the way to level 52 or Cruel Act 2 first mission, you get a level 13 gem, and so we can pick that up. This charges up, fire it, should apply a shock. Some bosses it doesn't because they're a little more immune, but we run that, then we switch back to shock burst rounds, fire it until the shock runs out, and then go back to Galvanic Shards, or we can run blast again and keep doing that. It's up to you. Some bosses I just ran this and then shock burst this, shock burst, because the boss was too hard to get Galvanic Shards to proc a shock. But that's pretty much all we're running. As you can see, I have the Galvanic Shot, Plasma Blast, Shock Burst, and Emergency Rounds. That is a optional choice. It is a damage modifier, but it only modifies the clip that is actually active. So if you run this, by default I think it's 15 rounds. So you'll have 15 rounds of extra bonus damage on a shocked enemy is the whole premise of that. So we go back to skills. I'm currently running Primal Armament, Conduction, Fork on Galvanic Shards. Shock Burst rounds, we're running Elemental Focus, Martial Tempo for the attack speed because obviously that's higher DPS, and Lightning Pen because obviously they're already shocked, so we're doing the damage to a shocked enemy by this or the Plasma Blast. Flash Grenades, I just got Overpower for more stun build up. This falls off really quick in Cruel Act 3. Starts falling off in Act 2, but really falls off in Act 3. Cruel, to the point where it's not really worth running unless you just want an extra little oomph. And slightly stuns them too, gives you a bit of time to think. Plasma Blast, we're running Scatter Shot for 3 beams. It goes beam, beam, beam. So just be aware, you do have to aim at your target or another target for the 3 beams. You can cancel after the first beam and just roll and then hit the shock burst rounds on it. We're doing crit at the moment. I might switch to non-crit. Let's just see how we go. But Inventable Critical, I probably got that wrong, Ambush. So that's our crit boosters. That gives us extra things. So that's our big damage. Once boss spawns, we beam them or we hit them with something else. Because we're taking the nodes that take that damage, we then hit them with something else, do whatever, wait for them to usually do a big attack or see what they're doing, get them in a stun, and then use this if you want to play that way. Emergency rounds, we're using premeditation, deal more damage, and skill duration, so we have more time to get that clip off. At default, I think it's 6 seconds. Yeah, max buff duration is 6 seconds for 24 more damage. Now, auras I'm running Time and Need. Time and Need removes all curses and elemental ailments every 11 seconds. It doesn't seem like it could be that helpful, but with the life recovery and everything, it's very handy. I do recommend running this. And Herald of Thunder for obviously boosting our lightning damage. We have 4% recovered on kill supported skill is active through Cannibalism. You won't get this until later in Cruel 2 or 3 because it's a level 3 spirit. Vitality, once you get enough spirit, should be able to do it once you finish the first 3 acts. You'll be able to run Vitality if you want, which then just gives you a bit of extra life. And if you're with the phasing ones, you don't get life flask back, so running around dodging, you're gaining that life. So it's actually very handy for that. On the tree, Uh, best way I would say is to do this is to come down with just straight out damage early on, and then you can ignore this for now, then come down on the outside of projectile. Don't get crit yet. You can come over this for weapon swap if you've got a weapon swap in mind, or knockback, but I don't think it's worth the way the build's set up. Then obviously we're coming down. You can either just shoot for down here and try to take some extra damage, or you can come in here and get some movement speed if you killed recently, up through here into reload speed, so you're actually able to do things quicker. That's just one I've had since pretty much Act 2 or something. I just popped it in, and 20% increased chance of shock. It still doesn't do pretty much anything because we got pretty much no chance of shock at the moment based on the tree. That's why we got to do that beam or the shards. The shards can be pretty useless at getting a shock on if the monster is a pain in the backside. The next one you want to head for is this, where we do increased chance of shock, and lightning damage with non-critical hits is lucky. So that's our lightning one. That's a crit. If you want more, if you're finding it's not shocking enough with just normal creatures, come in here, grab this, and then come back down and grab this to penetrate the elemental resistances. And then grab, before you grab this side with a crit, grab these nodes up here into the attack speed, because this minuses our attack speed by 15%. So this gives us 1% more than this takes off. So it nullifies the actual negative. But get this, and then I did this before I did the crit, went up here for action speed, the skill speed, and slight movement speed. The other movement speeds is like here, 2% movement speed, and then there's some like all the way over here somewhere, over here. So pathing there, unless you're going over here, that's not worth picking that up. Pick up boots with movement speed in Act 3 of the normal. Pick up movement if you find boots with 25% movement speed or higher, then even 20 in Act 3. Then pick it up, put it in your stash. If you're failing to get out of the way of things, especially Doriani's big slam from his mechanical thing, put those boots on, just forget about whatever defenses are on your boots. The speed will keep you alive, and then you'll do the damage to him. And same in Cruel Act 3. Do the same thing. Now, if you're finding it hard to take hits, because at times you start getting a little overwhelmed, come down here and take these nodes for the extra defense, and you can even come across and just grab them all if you feel you need to. I came in here and grabbed this so I could have some defense whilst I was getting all this damage. So the crits, obviously grab them last. And I grabbed this just for the recovery, because it's not a bad thing. I'll probably take these out and either put it somewhere else around here, or I was thinking of completely going all the way up here and heading over to this lightning node over here. So pretty much pathing, either take crits can't be evaded, never deal critical hits, because a lot of the bosses miss that beam. Now it could just be my targeting, but you aim right at it and it doesn't seem to hit all 3 beams. So I'll probably try that. Also grab some of the strength and stuff for life and gear, because the weapons will get more attributes heavy. Probably come in here, grab some resistances and everything. But yeah, this is what I want. All this lightning damage, and then the extra shock and the shock duration, because it does fall off very quickly. So pretty much I'm going to hope we can get the gear to max out our damage. Keep the damage nodes, drop the crit. Probably drop this last, all these attributes, and just head up here. Either cut in here or go all the way around. Get the resistances, the lightning, and then some strength maybe if I require it later, because obviously needing 106 plus strength for stuff starts getting expensive, and I've got 123, but most of that's on gear like this. 15 strength, 15 strength, 17 strength. So a lot on my gear actually is this strength. It's not actually anything good about how it's pathed. It's purely my gear just happened to roll a bunch of strength because of the armor evasion base, but the armor side of it. So I'll play me running my first map, and then you'll see that our damage isn't there. I'll probably have some backing music or something because the sound did cut out when I walked into Doriani's place. Cleared that, killed him, and then first map all without any sounds, just a slight background sound like some eerie wind or something. So that's why you won't hear any boom 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 sounds, but you'll see we can do it. We just need a way better crossbow, and I got this in here, but I did not do it until after the campaign, so that's why I have this. So now we got a little extra spirit, and we can add something else to do a damage boost or a defensive boost. But yeah, so that's pretty much how you can go through the leveling. Hopefully that helped stage through and everything. And do prioritize movement speed on your boots over defense. Have some defensive boots to just go A to B. But if you're getting like a boss and you can't get out of their attack, shove those boots on and then you'll be fine. But hopefully this was helpful, and hopefully you enjoy me being a Muppet running around the map. But I'll catch you next time, and goodbye.